Today is March 8th, 2024. The interviewee is Emil Wexenfeld. My name is Barbara Beyer. I'm the interviewer. We're in Pompano Beach, Florida, in the USA. The interview will be in English.
3, 2, 1.
Please tell me your name.
Emil Wexenfeld.
And could you spell that last name for me? Could you spell your last name?
Weksenfeld.
And did you have any nicknames as a child?
No.
What is your date of birth?
March 12, 1031.
And that makes you how old today?
It's 93.
Where were you born?
I born in Ukraine, Ruzhin, Zhytomyr district.
And what is that area called today?
I don't remember.
What country is it in today?
It's Ukraine.
Today is in Ukraine as well?
Yes.
What did your mother call you when you were a child?
I don't remember. You see, the point is, of course, I was younger and I should remember because everyone just tried to play with me, whatever. But see, my original name is Shmul. Probably they talk to me Shmulik. Shmulik is probably...
What was your full name? What was the full name besides Shmuel?
First, is Shmuel Chaimovich Wexenfeld. This is like I signed in my document, but because I used to be in Russian, and to have such name is very difficult to just enter to institute. So I changed my Shmuel to Emil.
And when did you change your name?
I changed it, and I believe in 1950, before finish my school, to get license accordingly.
And where in Ruzhin, is that how you pronounced it?
Yes, Ruzhin, but...
Where did you live in Ruzhin?
You see, the point is, still now, I don't know. Someone told me that I born during, at the time when I moved from Ruzhin to Kiev. I don't know where is it, and I don't know the detail. Ruzhin, I don't know at all. Only I used to live in Kiev, and my address, Kiev, Bulyonskaya 65.
When did you move to Kiev?
In 31. It's the same year.
That you were born?
Yes.
So, tell me about your brothers and sisters. Tell me about, where were you chronologically in the family?
I am the 9th in my family.
So there were 9 siblings?
Yes. And I born through the very bad time in Ukraine. People start from hungry, whatever. And for this reason, my older 2 sisters and brother died during this hard economical time before even I born. So most of the family was five children, mother and father, and my grandma.
Can you tell me your mother's name?
Chaya.
Where was your mother born?
She born in Ruzhin.
And Can you tell me the year she was born? What's her date of birth?
1894.
And your father's name?
Chaim Lazarovich Wexenfeld.
And where was your father born?
The same, 1894.
Where was he born?
The same in Ruzhin.
And your brothers and sisters, you had 9 in the family, starting with the eldest one. Can you tell me his or her name?
The eldest sister is born in 1920, and her name, I forget, Genia Chaibovna Wexenfeld.
Next.
Next was Lazar Chaimovich Wexenfeld. This is my brother. The next, Hasia Chaimovna Wexenfeld, sister. And after Moshe Chaimovich Wexenfeld, 1928. And me is March 12, 31, 1931.
And who were the 2 that did not survive because of the hunger?
Two brothers, 2 sisters, but I don't know any in details because they burned before.
How long had the family lived in Ruzhin?
In Ruzhin, I believe 20, 25 years, because in my account, if we look at my grandparents and just try to recognize when the picture was done and when my mother was born, it looked like between 25, 30 years. And once I told you, at 1931, we moved from yes.
And what were your grandparents' names? Take your time.
Esther.
Was your grandmother?
Yes, Esther.
And her husband?
I don't know. No.
Why do you suppose the family moved to Kiev?
It's immediately when I born, 1931.
But why did they move? Why?
We have to go a little back to history of settlement of Jewish family. It was a little bit easier to Jewish family move to Kiev. Before, nobody allowed to be there. My father just immediately used this permission and he left Ruzhin and came to Kiev.
What was your father's occupation?
He is a high professional in ventilation. Factories, whatever. He was, and despite he is not graduated, only I don't remember the school level, but not a big one, just in the middle. But he was very, very, very smart and on the level of engineer he was in his profession.
And your mother's profession?
Mother, I believe her profession, children, to take care about children, and she was very nice.
Tell me your earliest memories of your mother.
The mother is, she's carrying about in condition was very difficult. For example, we live in 1-bedroom apartment and we have a corridor like a kitchen with a Primus equipment to just take food. We did not have any bathroom, any nothing, and bathroom we have outside the building, let's say 30 meters, whatever. And I just mostly remember she was very caring about us, and she liked to work, and she make a correct move to work and keep yourself. And the market was, let's say, half of kilometer, and she walked to market, and I know the time when she should come back, and I met her in the way between, and just and you know what I was thinking about, and it's take a long time when she use exercise keep you alive, and when we change apartment for a new building, and she was home and she didn't walk anywhere, and this is I think effect of her life.
Did you say she had to move?
Hmm?
Did you say she moved? You moved to a different building?
Yes, the family moved because our building just under new construction, they remove and just provide a new building, a very nice building with all appliance, whatever.
So you said the original building where you lived didn't have a bathroom inside?
No.
And the new building?
In a new building, we have everything: bathroom, hot water, whatever. Just like all new buildings have today.
How would you describe your relationship with your mother?
You see, I remember I am the youngest. That's what explain everything. And you see, my child, when I was a child, first of all, I born with a shirt, and it looked like it says in. I will very happy in my life, but usually I was happy still alive, because people who burn his shirt, they don't have chance to survive. That's what I always try to think. Why I was a chance, with a small chance to be alive, and after when I read my book and recognize all my life, I see that Abraham, who is my guide in life, that's his attention to it. He have something about my future. I strongly believe in such things, and when I born, I was only skin and bone. I did not work for 3 years, and that's what another miracle was happened. After 3 years, I just start to work, and I was independent from anyone. If I will tell you, at seven, I went to school. My parents, they are not educated, but I'm happy. I have good friends, and they went to school, and I just joined them. And when I came to school, I was so shy, and I took some place in the end, and I was there for 2 weeks, and all of a sudden they recognized, who I am. And when I told you I am 70, they just said, no, you, you should come next year. And I don't know what's happened. Again, it's happened miracle. They depend, the rules, they violated the rules and give me a chance to go to school this time. And at this time, I did not know any letter. I was not completely out of everything. And during 1 year, I became one of the best students. And it's happened in the second, in the third level in the school. And when I finished the school, the war started, and my life go in different way, which is
So let's go back to before the war started, and you said you really weren't a strong baby, a small child. Is that because of economic conditions, or was it your constitution itself?
you see, nobody can know constitution who will just burn. This is a faith of him. And what I'm saying, just looking for, when I burn, I already have some. It's a show in just how it's called. Okay, I forgot. So once you burn, your life is already described your future. Zodiac, this is good. And looking back, I see this is exactly prediction of your future. And I just compare with what I receive when I born, and now go all over and see, yes, everything was at the beginning give you a faith of your life. But you should develop and to do such thing, to make yourself strong enough to fight the changes of condition during the war, the sickness, whatever.
So, how did you get along with your neighbors? Who were your neighbors
As a child,
as a
you
child?
see, the point is, we did not have. My mother was, when I born, was about 37, and this separate family without any relationship to anyone in our society. No relationship with anyone. No, this is not what it was not practical to have practical.
How religious was your family?
My father, you will be surprised. And
He was a what? I'm sorry.
you will be surprised what I just want to tell you. Of course, he was a very hard worker, because all family, he support all family. But when he came close to retirement, he just started to go to synagogue, and he became so famous member. I don't remember, it's number 10, whatever, and he used to be in such things. And every holiday, I just came and pick up him from this. But I was not religious. because the country just looking for Komsomol, whatever, to be member of the party, because you cannot do anything, otherwise they are not trust you, whatever.
How about at home though? How about in your house when there was a holiday? How was the holiday celebration?
In our house, even we have a small room, we have a big a table around, and always any holiday, Jewish holiday, all our family just.
And how did you celebrate?
All event which is Hanukkah or whatever. I don't know. That's what all about. And the family speak only in Jewish language. Even my brother and sister went to Jewish school with Jewish language. It was sometimes at the middle of Torah when it's a little freedom was for Jewish people. But they was not so long, about 3-4 years, and the school was closed.
How about your grandparents? How religious were your grandparents?
Grandpas, I believe they was Jewish, traditional, I would say.
Were any family members Hasidim? Were any of the family members in the Hasidim?
No, I don't think there was a Hasid. I don't know.
And so when did you start school? How old were you?
7 years before even original was allowed. That's what unusual things. Every time it look like unusual, not regular.
What kind of school was it?
This is regular school, and I tell you, I went to Ukrainian school. I graduated three classes in Ukrainian school.
And who were your classmates? Who were the kids in the class? Who were your classmates?
I cannot just children, whatever, children in my age.
Who were your friends?
It was 17 years ago. I couldn't remember, but we have good relationship. And now I just remember we have a good teacher which create performance, and I was at 8, participate in this game, whatever. And the war was just cut all this, develop for child, whatever, and I lost it forever. But now I find something different, make movies, whatever.
What subjects did you learn in school while you were there?
All regular school, grammar, maths, cultures, whatever, history, language, Russian language, and as an additional too.
Who was your favorite teacher? Can you remember anything about your teachers?
No, I cannot find. I cannot.
What did they teach you about communism?
Communism, first, what they're doing with small children, they force you to be pioneer. Pioneer is a small organization for children, and they have a red how is and salute like this, and And see, it was strong with discipline. Whatever we are going, we should be in line, whatever. Of course, they teach us that the system, the best system, you should learn and be useful for this country. And this is not just before the war. It's continued when I was in more classes from 5 to 10. And till then, I was not in Komsomol. Komsomol was another level of political development. And I was not in a Komsomol till grade 10. And what I recognized, they said, I need to be a member, otherwise I could not be accepted to any college. So 6 months before graduated school, I became a member of the Komsomol, whatever.
And how was that for you? How was that for you?
Yes. For me, I understand this is, I have to do it because of condition of the country or whatever. They thought everyone should be in Komsomol because Komsomol keep again discipline and they teach you more and more about Communist Party because from Communist Party they just you can just enter to Communist Party to be a member. That's how it's working in the system.
And who else in your family? Who else in your family? Who else in your family belonged there?
First of all, my old sister, she born in 1920. She was not happy in her life. As a young girl, she married before a guy, before it looked like in 1940, and they before the war they have a child, and he just went to the war and he did not return, and her life was all life she was alone, she with a child, and she at the age of, let's say, 70, she moved to United States. I moved to United States when I was 48 years old. And I was the first from my family. And after my brother Moshe, he's 1928, he came to United States with a family. And after, when I married Bella, we just helped to bring all my family to United States. It's included my sister Genia, sister Bella with the families, and brother, later brother. So starting for this time, we have a family, but all my brother and sister died, and I am alone. Now I am alone from 90.
So back in the Soviet Union in Kiev, what other members of your family became members of the party?
No. But you see, the point is, I was lucky from all my family because I have a chance to join college. All my brother and sister have education of 10 classes, regular 10 classes. So that's what ability for creating a good job without having education, this was not so easy, and just regular life, which is mostly typical for this type of position in society.
You mentioned earlier that when your father was older, he went to synagogue.
Yeah.
Where was the synagogue located?
In a synagogue located not it's region of Podolsky region. It's south of the center of the city. This is old city, old region where a lot of Jewish people used to live there. And they have a synagogue, which a lot of people. And most important thing, my sister husband, when he just joined, he's 55, he joined the family too. And I just was thinking, why people, when they came close to 55, they changed. And that's what I don't know. Still, I don't have any answer about.
Who was the rabbi at that time?
You see, I was not, I never been inside synagogue. When my father was there, I came to, at the time I was in a position of director of construction. I have a car, and I just went to him, and he is proud. So that's why I can't just bring him. And even once after when I just came from Indonesia, and I bought a car using, and this I have a car, and we went to Ruzhin with my father and brother, and he showed me the place where they live, whatever it was.
Can you describe that?
Hmm?
Describe what you saw when you went back to Ruzhin.
Just they show small buildings. This is we live in this region. Was a synagogue, but not and a lot of things was changed, disappeared because it looked like 30 years after when I more 35 years.
How many Jewish people still live there?
I don't know.
How did the Jewish population get along with the non-Jewish population?
It's
Before the war.
difficult. It's really difficult to tell in general. It depends if you have close friend around you. We have good relationship. Only after war, of course, German affected on the mind of people, and they just, when they left ideology of these people, and they hate the Jewish people. They create very bad condition for them. This is in general.
In what way in what way did it create bad conditions?
First of all, after war.
Before the war.
Before the war, you see, and it's a good example. my brother and sister joined a school with Jewish language and they close. This is a good evidence how your relation to Jewish, they start to cut every advantage to have to be educated in Jewish. That's how, and it became very wide distributed around the country, and that's
So then, how, even before the war started, how did the Ukrainians treat the Jewish population?
that's what I'm saying. If you are close, we are very, very friendly.
And if you're not close, then what?
It depend where you are. If you just in your society, this is one thing. Of course, sometimes they could be hate you are Jewish, but it doesn't have a regular condition. You should just express for some reason. And another thing, all most young people was going to school in Ukrainian language. That's the most important thing. They want to young people to be educated in Ukrainian languages. That's what I went to such school.
And how was that different than the Soviets?
It's you see it used to be Ukraine. It's in general called Soviet, but it's Ukraine. In Ukraine, as a separate country, they want to do whatever they want to, and they just want to create people who will be close to Ukrainian nation. They want to be independent. They create and prepare people for such things and started for the age of what I started, but the war was just disrupt this.
Tell me about the events that started the war. What happened? What happened in Kyiv before the war started?
When the war started?
Before, just at the time that it started.
I know. When the war starts on June 11, all of a sudden we saw a lot of fly come somewhere, and I have friend of mine my age. We just went to the top of the building and look what is all about. And after this a couple times, and after we were in condition, our building was close to railroad, and they German bombed every location where is a railroad, and we were very afraid to be under bombing our location. As a child, unbelievable. We were how to explain. We did not recognize the dangers of this. We are child, and once we went to some place where owner just left, and we have some. Let's see. Sometimes, okay, some fruit, whatever. And we saw German is in the distance of 500 inside the site in the area, close the area. And it was before, I believe, 2 weeks before Kiev was occupied. At this time, the German came too close to Kiev, and my father take whatever he could do it, and our family just went to station, a rail station, to leave, and Germans just attacked this station, and it was very terrible things. People try to in panic leave this place.
Were you able to get out before the Germans attacked?
Hmm?
Were you able to leave before the Germans attacked?
This was our first try to do it. Once it was not succeed, after 1 week, my father tried to do it the same. We came to the station. We were lucky. We lived this time. We lived the Kiev, and Kiev was occupied 1 week after when we left the country.
When you couldn't leave the first time that you tried,
Mm-hmm.
were the tracks destroyed from the train? The train tracks, were they destroyed? Is that why you couldn't leave? Why couldn't you leave the first time?
Because the fly start bombing the station.
But were the tracks destroyed as well?
Yes, it destroy and try to kill people who was on the place before station. You know, we have a big area where people stay close to each other with attention to leave it.
Who was with you?
All with me was my grandma, parents, and 4 brothers and sisters and me.
Where was your grandfather?
Grandfather, he I don't know him from the first day. Only I know grandmother. So the whole family was leave it, and the propaganda was say, don't worry, we will cut German at whatever, don't leave. And we just listen to this, and we just live for 300 kilometers. We said this is not, we don't need to live far away. But it looked like German was go after us. We lived to another place, to Balashov. They came to Balashov close. And after we just moved to Kazakhstan.
How many other people evacuated Kiev when you left with your family?
It's full whatever they provide the space. All space was taken. The people even don't have enough room. They stay whatever they could.
Where were the other people from beside Kiev? Were they from other countries, other areas?
You see, I cannot answer this question, but only I can say it was in Kiev, and it could be not just Jewish people. It could be everyone who afraid to be there, because you know what's happened. Once we are talking about occupation, German, in the first moment when they came, they start to kill all Jewish people, and it's called special Babi Yar. It's very famous, with a lot of Russian people was killed there. Even Ukrainian intelligence was true. And it's very, I want to say, so before the war, Kiev have population of 900,000, and they, after the war, after Kiev was released, they have only 107,000 people. City was completely destroyed. No transport, not after.
Jewish people and non-Jewish people? Jewish people and non-Jewish people?
Yes, so that's the condition. Kiev was completely destroyed for a normal life. Of course, condition became very dangerous because a lot of people who came from the war, who have some damage, whatever, and they start to survive, and they do it things. It's called banditism, hooliganism. They start to rob property, whatever. In such condition, we live for many years until accommodated, whatever, terrible things.
When you left Kiev and were on the train, how many stops did you make along the way before you got to Kazakhstan?
I believe two. One on 300, the second Balashov, and when Germany tried to be close to Balashov, we left for permanent, or for a long time to Kazakhstan.
How long did you stay in each stop? And where did you live? Where were you getting food?
You see the point. Of course, some food we receive from help, whatever. For example, the first place we stay only one day, and recognize just a small stop. In Balashov, we stay a couple days. Of course, somehow we receive help, whatever. But it's very hard to just explain in details.
From whom did you get help? Who helped you?
So I don't know how to explain. Of course, the local governments provide some help to people to continue evacuation. They have created some system of evacuation the people, and that's what was a part to have food, whatever. No, of course, when we leave, we have some money too. So that we went to market, whatever. But transportation to relieve, was obligation of government.
So you're a young boy at this time. Yeah. How frightened were you about what was happening around you with bombings and Germans coming and your life changing so drastically?
So you see, starting from the beginning, completely the change of life was completely changed. And that's we have to accommodate to real condition, and our mind change a lot of, and we do whatever possible to survive.
So once you get to Kazakhstan, tell me, once you arrive in Kazakhstan.
Oh, Kazakhstan. When we came to Kazakhstan, the local government just try to help at the beginning, and every family just look around and find out a room for living, and we just find a small, typical built from the ground, the special. I don't know how to explain. It's from local ground. They create the wall. They have a special ground, and we just live 5% here, like my mother-in-law, my parents, my grandparents, and my two sisters and my older sister. Laser was in army, and he was not with us.
What was a typical day like for you in Kazakhstan?
In Kazakhstan, we don't have any. We just have home, school. My father was working as some work for service for people which he can service. His office was on the market, and he just make some money which help us to survive. My sister, the old sister, she was lucky. She received a job in a bakery which across our building where we live. So everything left over, which left over help us to survive. And unusual things happen in this point. She brought some burn wood to our stove, and they close how it's called. They close the stove, and the gas from burned wood, so it was so strong, and I lost my life. I lost my life, and I saw people. For a short time, I saw people try to do with me whatever, and I still could not recognize what it's all about.
So you're saying the vent was closed? The vent was closed?
Yeah.
And
Yes, and we just take it aside.
how did you survive that?
I don't. That's what I'm saying. My life is everything is a miracle. But I was somewhere around, and I see people try to help. But another things, my mother-in-law, my grandma, she was here to me, and she didn't take anything. She looked like it's not everything not affect her. But after 3 months, she died. She died, and most important thing, she never been any day sick. She was not sick any day in her life.
How old was she when she passed away?
70. I remember she was before the war. I was favorite with her, and I was a child. She took me, and we just walk around, and she was so beautiful, strong woman with a dress usually accepted this time, and she could not speak Russian, but we spoke in a Jewish language, and I just understand a lot of things.
Was the language that you spoke Yiddish?
Yiddish, yes, Yiddish, because in family our language was Yiddish.
At home, you all spoke
At
Yiddish?
home, yes.
And out of the house, what language did you speak
Hmm?
out of side the house?
Outside, mostly we speak in Russian, but sometimes we speak in Ukrainian too.
And you said when you were in Kazakhstan, you went to school.
Yes.
What kind of schooling did you have?
Government just create, take a local school which used to be for Kazakhstan children. They transfer into Russian school, and we use books written in Kazakhstan language, and we write between a line to teach how to in Russian how to.
How did you translate that?
No, between we have a book, and between texts we have we write in Russian, and that's what we exercise in Russian language, such way.
What kind of sports were you interested in?
Hmm?
What kind of sports were you interested in as a youngster?
Only I start to think about sport when I was 15, I believe. And what's happened? I used to be in school, 131 school, and we have protection with from some sickness. Usually they did some injection, and unfortunately, this procedure was not good for me, and my hand start to. I went to hospital, whatever, and he made some operation, and after a while he said, "You know what? Your hand will not be working for life." Could you imagine? And that's again, I just want to refer my book which explain what's happened. I said, no, I don't want to be in such condition. I will do whatever. And I start to do exercise, whatever. And my hand came to normal. And I was not so big in my, and I start to think to go and take some sport. For this reason, I just said, let's see, gymnastic will be okay to develop my body. Unfortunately, it was not so long time, and some teacher was not a long time, and I recognized this is not what probably I have to do. And again, everything what happened in your life, even small things, should develop your life and become a new life. It's happened to me. So later on, when I could not be on gymnastic, I went home and passed through apartment who is my friend from. Do you remember? I showed the picture, one of them, and he said, "You know what? I am busy. I want to go to play basketball," and I asked him, "Can I go with you to see how it look like?" And we went to. It was a special school, sports school,
And where was this? Where?
In Kiev, in center of the Kiev, a very famous sports school.
So this this is after Kazakhstan. This is
Yes,
after.
it's when I left Kazakhstan. Kazakhstan, we didn't do anything. This is in Kiev.
Okay.
When
So what year was this then?
I just went to Kiev in 45. In 1945 we came to Kiev, but start with the sport in class 9. It looked like 1948, 49.
So, and what was your friend's name? What was your friend's name?
Zinovy. Zinovy.
His first name?
The first name is Feldman.
So let's go back to Kazakhstan then. How many grades were you able to finish in Kazakhstan?
Oh, yes. Okay, so when I just we were here from 1941 to 1943. Again, something happened to change our life. My sister Beba, she met some person who in some way was relative to my old sister husband, like a family. He was wandering from the war, and he used to live in Siberia, and came somehow for business travel, and he met our family, and my sister Beba just married him, and they want to move to his place in Siberia, Stalinsk. And after all, we just make a decision, all our family, let's move to Stalinsk, whatever, because he explained condition what is there, so, it's easier with the job, whatever. And we went to Siberia, Stalinsk, and we live in special barracks, which created special a big combinat, steel combinat, came cockles, and we live again in a very small room, all 5 people.
So let me just ask you one question. What was your first impression of being in Kazakhstan? What was your first impression of that country?
In Kazakhstan, you see, the point is, most important thing, the temperature. Temperature just dropped. We have a temperature 50 degrees Celsius. And I say, like I wrote in my book, we have a chance to boil our eggs in the sun. And the life, of course, the life in Kazakhstan was not so difficult. And as we did everything to survive. And even we steal some food which taken with, I don't know how to explain, some transporter of food, and it was easier to pick up such thing like for eating, and we often do it, but sometimes it's left and we couldn't do it. So
Did the family still have some money left over for food?
no, it's whatever my father making in this small business on the market, that's like exchange. Some came with small repair, and they pay. That was how we survived.
And how did you get to Siberia?
Siberia, that's what I'm saying. My sister Beba married and she decided to leave to Siberia.
How did you get there?
We just bought tickets. We arrange ourselves. Whatever money we have, we just pay for the tickets. And when we came here, they immediately receive a job in this big factory. My father and my brother was there. Another thing that help us to survive in Siberia. Siberia is very cold. It's very cold, and we did not have the rest to do it. But since all of them somehow work and bring some money, but it was not quite enough. And the good things what done by KMK, they gave us just land to grow food, whatever, and this helped us to survive.
By what means of transportation did you get there? Did you take the train again?
Yes, just regular transportation. So, and the point is, far away from the war is the life is completely different. Not so. You did not afraid that German will come close. That's different life.
And how about the local people? How were you treated by the local people?
You see, the local people was friendly, was very, very friendly, and I could not say anything, and I don't remember they will say any bad things to Jewish.
How many of them knew you were Jewish? How many of the locals knew you were Jewish? How many people in the local community?
You see, it's very hard. It's very, you see, the point is every Jewish family live alone. We did not have big relationship. This only for example, my sister Genia, she had a good friend with a child, and all of a sudden she died, and she take care about him, whatever, to help me to accommodate somewhere, whatever. It was very, very nice, friendly relationship, but it's not so widely extend to other people. Other people start to be quiet, to have secret, because everyone probably have some secret, and they don't want to. That's the point. We were not close enough to.
So what did you know about what was happening in Kiev and other parts of the Europe area, in Germany and Czechoslovakia? And what did you know about what was happening in the war and what the Germans were attempting to do?
So you're talking about after the war? Or?
No. How did you know the war was coming to an end?
Okay, to the end is we have radio, we have TV, whatever. Just official, just inform in the way how they want the introduction. So the truth, we did not know what it's all about. But at least we know, for example, Kyiv was released and in November 1944. So it's a good sign for us, and we immediately just make a decision to return back to Kiev, which is just happened in June 1945.
And what did you find when you returned?
Terrible things. Terrible things. First of all, our apartment, two-bedroom apartment, was occupied with my neighbor. They just moved it during occupation. You see, and when we came here, we should not enter my apartment. Thanks God, we have uncle, my father's sister, and she accommodated us for a short time until we fight to return our apartment back.
How did you get it back if your neighbors were in it?
You see, we were lucky. My oldest brother, Lazar, he was military, and he was stay close to Kiev, and he came and he just helped us to fight these things. But this problem is widely extend to other people who just came with the same condition, and they fight for a long time, sometimes unsuccessful. That's what the first things what they met return difficult to accommodate for a new life.
And so how did these neighbors react after you got them out?
Mostly we did not have any relationship. The person who just moved, she moved somewhere, and we don't know where is she, and we never ask what for.
So how did your life return to normal, what you would call normal?
For recall, you see, first of all, condition in Kiev was very difficult because city was destroyed completely. No transportation, no community, no water, no light, whatever. And this is a very difficult thing, and create what I said, some dangerous condition, which people was killed for money, or hooligans, young people started to do things which is not should be done. Of course, my father find some job because he was a professional, and most important thing, what's happened, as I tell you, small things change whatever your life could go in the way different. He used to work in construction of construction on the bridge, tunnel on the river Dnieper, and it was chief of the company. His name was Barenboim. And my father was very, very close to one person who was a father for Barenboim life. So it starts from the long time relationship, whatever. And when I grew up and I finished the school and start to work, I was dream to work for him. And after a while, it's happened, and I worked for a long time for this company. And I used to work with him. I was director of big construction, and he was a general contractor. Could you imagine how it says?
What was the name of the company?
Master Stroy number 2.
Can you spell that?
Moctroy number 2. And I start to from from a very small position. And
Before we get there, when you say that things were so terrible when you returned, to Kiev,
yeah,
what atrocities did you personally witness? What horrible things did you personally see yourself?
okay. So of course, let me see. Let me see. The life was very dangerous, and I would say things what happened to survive was Lend-Lease from United States provide us with product, and people stay in big line to receive it for free or for very low price. This is one sources which help us to survive. Another one, the government gave again a land to make to grow up some food, whatever, and we just do it in the way like we did it in Siberia. That's help us to do it. Other things I could not recognize to know.
So no dangerous situations?
No. You see, it's at the beginning, 1-2 years was, of course, was change, but city start to develop whatever, and of course, the life became a little easier.
So then, what did you desire to do? You went back to school?
Yes.
And tell me about.
You see, what's happened at this time is again I have something which I call miracle. Of course, I came in 1945, and I joined to school 131 in 6th grade, and I am lucky. I met friend which I show you from the grade of 6. We finished the school. It looked like our life was separate from everything what was there. And it looked like we have separate community with our goal, what we want to reach, and we start to help each other in these things.
But your testimony is not going to recognize the book. So tell me about your friends.
All friends are, I have friends, her name is Vinokur. And for me, they are like a family. You see, as I told, our family, mother was busy, she is not educated, whatever. But his name, Mikhail Vinokur, and by the way, he just came to United States and started to be a poet, and I just placed in the book about him. This was a family. Another friend, her mother, he used to live with mother and sister, very, very nice, educated people. And other people, we used to be in the same level. We know what we already recognize how we just fight anti-Semitic government regulation.
Where was this? Where?
In Kiev. In Kiev, we when I told you we just go to sports school, we recognize that college looking for a good sportsman. That's we have a goal. All of us go to this school, we finish it. And because of that decision, we try to enter to very big and very nice institute, but in the first day they just we failed the exam. But thanks God, another institute wants us to be with them. They help us, and we joined the.
Was this a form of anti-Semitism?
Hmm?
Was this a form of...
Yes, this is a form. I would say a government anti-Semitism, not local. Local is everyone know local, and government knew about local. That in sometimes it developed into, and the law have a lot of restriction for Jewish people in percentage, 1 or 2%, whatever. And people try to find, and I just was thinking about, people find any law who created by government have something which is, they miss it. That's what, and because Jewish people are smart enough, and they look where we have a chance in their profession to use it. We use it sport. We came to the sometimes came to scientists, very proud scientists, and the company just close their eyes because they need him. That's how it was. Original, the law, but sometimes people who are very strong in his knowledge, what he wants to, they reach it. And it should be, and probably surprise people. How come all Jewish people with having restriction and they receive everything? That's what the point. They knew the system how to use it in their behavior, whatever.
So now you're working towards a degree in what?
I work in construction. So I even institute is for road and mechanical, but we have a portion of faculty for engineering, and I choose design and build bridges. And that's what, because again, and when I used to be in college, and we have some visit to build a new bridge under supervision of Barenboim, we came and look, and at this time it was only I was at the beginning of my study in institute, and I said, "Oh, this is I want to be here." That's what I'm saying. Mind have a strength. That's what all about. That's what I tell. You should have a dream, and you should know what you want, and you can reach it. And you see, this was years before I thought it. And when it, let's say, if it was, let's say, 53 years, and I joined the company Masterstroy in 1958.
And what was the name of the institute where you received your education?
This is KADI is Kiev. It's look like institute to build roads and bridges.
Did it have a name? Did this?
It's called Kievsky Avdorожny Institute. In short way is KADE. KADI.
And what year did you receive your degree?
In 1955.
And tell me about the engineering that you did.
First of all, I just want to tell you about how I received this degree. Because let's see, my dream was to build bridges. Therefore, when I study in an institute, I pay attention more for to be close to bridges. I went twice for practice which related to bridges. And in 1954, we have a practice in Petigorsk on the construction of the bridge. So, and that's what was the basic my knowledge to be prepared to prepare a diploma work. When I came home and administration of institute distribute the name of the project which I should, they gave me not bridges, they gave me road which I hate this work. And I said, guys, I will not accept this work. I will not do it. And it takes 2 weeks. All of them would work 2 weeks, and I didn't even start. And all of a sudden, they just give me a job for bridge. You see, that's what I'm saying in my book. You can fight everyone when you are right. When you're right, you can fight. That's what first things which related to institute. Another thing, of course, it was government anti-Semitism. Despite it, and people who just joined institute, you couldn't believe a lot of Jewish people. A lot of Jewish people just graduated, and government make a decision to send to Kazakhstan to develop the field, whatever. And they said, it doesn't matter what qualifications you have, they should be there. And at the date when we should have a distribution where we have to go, which place they will give it to us, I was just everyone who in Jewish before was me, they sent to Kazakhstan. And before the end of distribution, I came to commission and whatever, and the chief of this commission make very nice face in my said, you know what, Emil, I know you you used to be a good sportsman. You were a good student, whatever. We give you a chance to pick up what you want. Then it's a trick. And they just give me, it was three, they gave me two Kazakhstan and one is Siberia. And I said, I want to be in Siberia. And they was shocked because they want me to be in Kazakhstan. And they started said, why you are Komsomol, you should be there, whatever. And I said, whatever you said, I agree with you. But not just we have problem with Kazakhstan, we have problem with this type of industry which the same need help. And I want to go to Siberia. So they gave me Siberia, and they asked, why you want to go to Siberia? Because I have a friend of mine, Zinovi. He used to in Sverdlovsk, and I was 100 miles from him. He said, this is the reason why I did.
So what bridge did you end up building?
Hmm?
What bridge did you end up building? You were in construction engineer and you built a bridge. What bridge was it?
Oh, you see, the bridges, I tell you, of course, the system who work, when we were young people, we work so nice. We can, once when I used to work for construction master, it was one project over bridge over the Dnieper for a railroad, and we have to remove, let's say, 100 meters a bridge, steel bridge, and replace it for a new one. So we cannot stay too long without transportation. I was here for three days. I was live here. We have food and sleep there. Every we have a group, and everyone work 8 hours, 12 hours stay, and we did it, and we became proud. And that's what the beginning. That's the beginning of to know what is a bridge is. The second event was I used to work when I came. I used to work with my head of my project from Soyuzor Project, and I work design company, design bridge. I used to work 2 years, and after, and all of a sudden, I heard that Mostostroy 2, Barenboim need people, and I just went here, and they took me and give me some job in office. And after a couple months, I recognized this is not what I'm looking for. I didn't see my future.
So what happened then?
And at this time, I just married in 1957. And in this...
Let's back up for 1 minute. So you got married in 1957. How did you meet your wife?
Oh, the wife, this is her name is Shana, and this is a very nice story. I have a friend of mine, very close friend, And I just graduated, and I just start to work in this project company, and said, we have a very good girl. We want to introduce to you. Once they just introduce, and the woman who came, she's look like from the server. She's just came from, let me see, institute sent a student to field to help. And she came for field, she's just completely different view. And I said, no, I don't like it. I don't like it. And all of a sudden, after a couple of days, I see you, she's working in the same company. And she worked in the same company, and she was so beautiful, and she have a lot of people wants to be close to her, and after all, we just have good relationship, and we married, and after short way I understand family could not work in one company with such condition. We should go separate. And this time I heard we have some position with Master Stroy, and I went here. So once I was working in technical part of this construction, I recognized I don't have any future here. And I said to chief engineer, I want to go to work to field in very low position, but I want to be close to understand what it's all about. Nobody wants to take a young person to be responsible for him. And it's take, let's say, half hour. And all of a sudden, this company open a new project in Cherkasy. They just have to install a new steel bridge, about 100, with a new technology. And of course, nobody wants to go from here. And I said, no, I want to go there. And I went to this bridge. And a lot of stories, very nice stories. Of course,
Where was the bridge? Where did you build?
Cherkasy. It's close to Kyiv. It's 200 miles.
So you were responsible for building this bridge? You were responsible for building this bridge?
Yes, I was in charge. I was in charge for the bridge. But when I start to work, workers just try to joke on you. Just start to recognize what kind of people you are. And it was winter time, and people used to work on the top of the construction. And all of a sudden, when a guy told me, Emil, we have problem with here, and I have, you see, we have steel column. They make step to go, and it was winter. I heavy dressed, whatever, and they just smiley. He said, we have problem. And I said, Emil, if you're not doing, this is the end of everything. And I did it.
What did you do?
But it came to what they want to. They came, and after that, completely changed the relationship, and I was accepted. I was accepted, and that make my life easier to be. We finished after 6 months. We finished, and I received another job in Kyiv, a big job, metro bridge over. and in other bridges. After all, after
So, with your success in your profession,
yes,
why did you leave Kiev?
but but this is only the beginning. I have another two things which I done, and that's what before. It's very important. Despite government anti-Semitism, Soviet Union want to extend their influence of a lot of countries around the world. One of that it was Indonesia, and Indonesia just find out a lot of minerals, and they need some road to enter to this region. And for this reason, government have contract to build a road of and bridges in the jungle of Indonesia. It's called Kalimantan or Borneo. And the selection of the people was very hard. Whatever it take months and months to pick up the person, improve it, and something happened in the life. Some correspondent of Komsomolskaya Pravda newspaper used to live in some region of jungle and work with Russian people. And he write very, very dangerous letter. Is very, very dangerous to be there. And people who should go there, they reject to go. And it became, we have a Soviet Union have a contract and they don't have any person. And a lot of people don't want to do it. And I was a good relationship in this company. And once chief of staff asked me, Emil, do you want to go to Indonesia? And I said, yes, principally, I want to, but I want to speak to my wife. Give me one day. And when I went home, I said, Jana, do you want to go to Indonesia? She said, with you into every place. And I said, okay, I agree with you. And in December in 1962, Jana and I, we left the country. And I was lucky because this contract was for 10 years and they did not finish the job. And I finished the job. I finished completely the job.
And what year did you return?
My contract was 2 years, but some work is not finished, and government extend my contract for another half year, and I finish. And somewhere in the June 1963, I just left the country. And I left 1 month before what's happened in Indonesia. The strike, whatever, Chinese Communist Party take over. They killed a lot of people, and I remember I have very good relationship with people we used for, and I have some photo about these people. We have very good relationship, and I believe they are not they're not survive. So once I finished and I was accepted by government, I finished job, they trust me. That's the point. And when after 3 years or 4 years, when the government decided to build the first bridge, cable stay, bridge in Soviet Union. This is the first. The length with approach 6 kilometers, 2 bridges, first in the world, cable stay bridges with length of the span was 300 meters and was number 7 in the world.
Where was it?
In Kiev. In Kiev.
What did the bridge have a name?
The bridge, when it was finished, became, ironically, it became the name Moscow Bridge. And now they change for another one, but I don't know exactly. Now I take all responsibility of this bridge. And I was lucky because I have some knowledge which I did not expect it, and very good explain. My mind was concentrated on this job. It looked like our mind once is a part of universe, and once as a part, my mind became the strength of university, and become my mind just think about this. It's create community program which should go all over, and in this reason, I just propose a new system of economical system which never used before.
Tell me the circumstances of why you ended up leaving the Soviet Union.
Yes. So, first of all, a lot of things happened to my family. My wife died in 1973. In between construction, I was alone on construction, and a chief engineer who I used to be with him in Indonesia, and I hired him. He had some problem, and I helped him to solve this problem. If he was with me as a chief engineer in 1973, he said, "Emil, I'm sorry, I received very important position, and I just decided to take it because our company is temporary. When we will finish the bridge, we are nowhere." And I said, "Okay, what can I do? Thanks for everything, what you helped me." And I just hired another engineer. So I was alone with this very unusual condition. We have a good relationship with mother-in-law. She was, for me, one of the best people who helped me, whatever.
So when did you leave?
But when I close to finish a job, I start to recognize what will be my future. And I recognize I don't have a future. And they wait until I will finish the bridge, sign, take all responsibility out of me, and that's what it's a date, December 3, 1976. We have a big meeting, all government, and where is Emil? He's not there. He's not there. He did his job, he can leave it. You understand? This is first shock to me. The second, I work with two sides, and I knew all of these people. When we were younger, we worked in different. So we were lucky. I know all about this guy, and I know to whom I have to trust, who not, and I'll system to control whatever. And when the bridge was open, they have celebration one side, and nobody came to me, says, Emil, let's go with us to celebrate. It looked like I was not here. I was not here. And at this time, the bridge is empty. And I just take my hand up and said, Emil, you finish, and you should leave it. And that's my attention. And not to mention, because my mother-in-law cannot support me, with me, I didn't have any reason to live alone, without money, without language.
And how was it the day you left? How was it for you the day you left?
I'm not clear. What do you mean?
The day you left the Soviet Union. How was that for you, and how did you leave?
That's what I'm saying. That's my decision. That's my decision to leave. But I have a responsibility still, because I should prepare all paperwork, so everything is in order. All my money is order. I am clear to be free from this responsibility. It's take a couple months, and at this time, just support my opinion to leave the country. At the beginning, I recognize I don't have a future here, and that's
What date did you leave? What date did you leave?
It was I left the country in February 1978.
And how did you get to
You see,
what mode of transportation?
See, the point is, I told you, any single event have in the future have very important continuation. So when I just start to think about living, I was very far away to leave the country. I never thought. But at the time when I just make a decision, 2 weeks after, I met a woman which I did not see for a long time, and what's happened? I met her on cemetery when my father-in-law was burned, and her parents was the next row, and we often just met often, and it's never happened when I met her. I always bring her home. I have a car. I bring home whatever. We have such relationship, and on Christiatic, I met her, and the first question asked, Emil, do you want to leave? I said, I even don't know where to start this. And she said, okay, I will help you. My daughter is in United States. She has a gymnastic company, whatever, and she will make you visa from Israel.
What was her name?
Unfortunately, I forgot. I try to remember, and that's what you see. What's happened. Things which you don't expect change your life completely.
So I just have a question for you. When you got married to Jenna, was her name Jana?
Yeah.
Did you have a traditional Jewish wedding?
Oh, the wedding was unusual. See, we have apartment twice as big with neighbors, and we have a big party. All my relatives, her relatives, and we have a traditional wedding. So, due to traditional wedding, when the youngest married, everyone danced on the table. That's what was unusual event for this thing.
How many guests did you have at the wedding?
As full as more, I believe more as 50. All that's what the room of neighbors just give us additional space.
And you did say she did pass away.
Yes.
What year was that?
1973. You see, she has some operation which could not be positive. So, and she knew she is going up.
Were there any children involved in your wedding, in your marriage?
No, we didn't have. You see, the point is, again, everything what's happened, it should happen. It should happen in advance. She could not be married. She could not be married because when she was young, she had an operation of some operation, and it was not succeed, and she had some effect of to have children, and in this way, I just want to go to Jewish tradition, whatever. You know what's happened? My parents start to press me to leave. They want to have children, whatever. And I said, no. So I break Jewish tradition.
How did you get to the United States? How?
Okay. Once, you see, I tell you one thing more before preparation to leave the country. First of all, when I receive permission to leave, I should go. I should go and use the rules. I have to just give up about my apartment. And I don't know again what I done. Unbelievable. I could not recognize why I did it. My mother-in-law says, Emil, when my wife died, Emil, I want to write the ownership on you. And I said, no, I don't need it. I don't know. You see, if I take it, I will have a lot of problems. Explain me how it could be. And I didn't. I said, no, I don't want to. I don't think people thinking I want to. No, I don't want. So I try to say to I don't have. They didn't respond. It was in the same area which I built the bridge. I knew all top official, and they know me. And when I came with something, they don't know me at all, no more. So I know the system how it works, and quiet. I just simple thing. I don't agree whatever. Single. This I came. They didn't decide. I go to another higher whatever. After all, I send a letter to mayor of city Kyiv. They know me, and they came to.
But I asked you, how did you get to the United States? How? By what means of transportation?
But you see, that's what. See, that's somehow in somewhere bring me to a position which I met someone who. But you should go step by step to understand. Okay, let's see. I receive permission to leave the country. And starting from this point, it was special company who helped just provide you with boxes, whatever, to leave the country. And this was a special place where we met each other, whatever. And I believe, again, I was lucky because I met a family. There was at 70, both of them, a daughter, and we make an agreement. We will live all together. I helped them, they helped me. Once we came to United States, you are free and I am free. So that's helped me to and we of course buy tickets, whatever, and we just came to. We came first stop was in Hungary. For a couple of days, I believe, and after we went to Italy, where I stayed just a couple months. With this family, we help each other, and because I don't imagine how come I will survive to be alone, whatever. See, everything is like everything done like it was planned in my computer. That's I planned, so I have to leave, and everything is working. Special, some people help me to bring me to know.
So what was your first impression when you got to the United States?
So first impression, first of all, I was not surprised as all people because I already travel around the world. See, and if I tell you I have some a dress which I bought from Singapore and brought to Italy. I was not surprised about such thing. Only we were in hospital in a hotel in Brooklyn hotel, and I was alone. Whatever I don't know what to do, and I just start to work on around the place, which with a nice view to Manhattan, mostly at night, a light in Manhattan, and I just say, Emil, what is my future here? What could I expect? And at that time, it's a ticket cost 25 cents, and I cannot afford this 25 cents
A ticket for what?
to use metro, 25 cents. And let me tell you, everything what you do in your life, sometimes it help you. Again, unusually sometimes came. We have a good institute. We just play preference. Did you know what this is? This is special. This is a special game which use in top officials. If they want to give a bribe, they lose in the game. And nobody sees. That's how. And we just have a chance to learn this subject. And when we were on practice, and we just start to leave Petigorsk from Batumi, and with a ship of Russia, it was, and we have small amount to come home, and bought some food to ship, and after 2 days we recognized our food couldn't be stay longer, and we have only money to come to Odessa, to take a ticket to Kiev, and 30 cents for train. And
But you're in the United States now.
just it was in Russia. I am saying every knowledge that you have help you in some situation. And I said to my friend, guys, we have only one chance. I have to go play this game, preference, and win. And I win.
What game was that?
Preference. This is the people high official play. So that's helped me. And other things, in institute, we have competition in chess. Once I walk around and I see a company, one guy who have an office to rent car, and I look, he play chess. After a while, I came to him, and he said, Emil, do you want to play chess with me? $1 game? I said, okay. I came to him every day, and left with $3. That's what all about.
So, where did you learn how to speak English?
I start from college.
Where college? Where?
In New York.
What college was it?
Torah College. And by the way, we have a special course by Jewish Association, and I have for 3 months courses here, and and Torah College, English and computer, which we have.
How long were you in college?
It's, just no more as 1 year. But you know what? After 3 4 months, when I used to be in the United States, I find a job in my profession, and it's just we did not finish what I talk about when this vice president came to me and brought a big drawing and asked me what it's all about. And my pure English, I said, this is bridge, temporary bridge for construction. He opened his eyes. He said, okay, waiting. He came and said, Emil, do you accept $250 per week? I said, okay. And he left. Came after a while, and said, Emil, we decide to give you 300. That's what all about. And starting point. And another thing which I could not forget, I have a good relationship with this company, but all of a sudden they lost a job. And
What company was it?
This is bridge, tunnel construction. Tunnel, bridge, this is in my profession. And they said, we lost one contract and we give you notes 2 weeks. And what he did, he asked people from his office and said, guys, find Emil a job. That's what I'm saying. And they tried to all over and they find it. Today I work with them, tomorrow I work with another company, design company, whatever. You see, do you remember I told you completely different people, and my mind is always with appreciation for what he did to me.
So when did the rest of the family come to the United States?
Sorry.
I believe if I married in 91, about 6-7 years after, we just, what I have to do, another event which unbelievable. Once we married, the second marriage.
Tell me about your second marriage.
The second marriage is unusual too. First of all, when I start to work, and I work with a good company, I just have a small apartment. I bought a new car. And when I came to the store and said, Emil Russian bought a new car. You see, when next time they saw me on some view, whatever, they recognized me. Okay, so I was more or less in a good condition, have a car, whatever. And once I was sitting at home, it was Friday, and I did everything. I did not have anything to do. And I brought, it was a newspaper, Новое Русское Слово, and I always buy this newspaper and read it. It was Friday, and I read some advertising. Woman of forest looking for a man till 50 for marriage, whatever. And when I read it, I start to smile, and I said, I am 51. I am 51. I am out of it, and I forgot about this newspaper. Monday I came here, and all of a sudden, my eyes look at newspaper directly again to this newspaper, and just it came something is in a poem, whatever, smaller, and it's called. It looks like I don't know what's happened with these notes, but I feel it something could be very important. And she just respond, and we just have a big conversation, and I just read the end of these things, and at the end I said, it could have, I never do it in my life, and it's happened because only Abraham saw it in that's unusual.
So how long did it take you once you met the
You
woman
see-
until you got married?
You see, the point is, her father is just arrived. She lived with him, and he was sick. And we live in different area.
Where did she live?
She lived in Brooklyn. I live in Queens. But every day we spoke everything we know about. Honestly said everything what was good, bad, we start a new life. I don't care what was before, you don't care what's before. We start a new life. And after 2 weeks, whatever, her father just getting sick, and she was meeting him every time. But before after a long conversation, we decided to meet each other, and I came with a dressed guy with a new car, whatever. And she said, okay, so where we are going, I said, what do you want to? She said, let's go to a Japanese restaurant. We just have a good time, whatever. And we just walk, drive around. And after all, I just brought her to home. And it looked like she liked every month. She came and she lived with me 35.
So what was your wedding date?
We did not have some wedding.
You didn't get married.
No, we have just went to restaurant. Father, his sister, and so only small family, and that's all. We did not go to church, to synagogue, whatever.
How long were you together?
35 years. 35 years. One day marriage.
Emil, how often do you speak about your wartime experience and your life in the Soviet Union?
What do you mean?
How often do you speak to other people about
No.
the Soviet
No.
Union?
Did you see the point is because I am around Soviet people here, and you know what else we did not spoke about private information. That's what nobody knows except people who was close at the time when event happened.
So if you don't talk about your wartime experience, what do you talk about the Soviet Union?
I talk whatever only what I just said. You create your life by thinking I want to do such thing. Once I came to conclusion my life in Soviet Union is over, I said I start to a new life. So I create a new pyramid which everything should be comply. What I am thinking, all relationship with people, whatever. And of course I explained I was abused after what I done, and they didn't find me any place because the policy of Russian was once you are working in a company, they will not remove it because you are on a correct place. But once you leave it, you could not find any place. That's what the rules.
So how do you feel about Ukrainians and Soviets today? How do you feel about the people there that are under communist rule?
You see, the point is, and you will surprised, the company which managed by Barenboim, it was look like a Jewish community. So all our life is where job, home. So we are look around friendly people, even the Ukrainian, whatever. So it look like I was separate with a life which was used to be around along. That's what all about. And I think I was in some way happy. I did not see it so often.
How would you compare what's happening between the Soviet Union, Russia, and Ukraine today?
The point is, first of all, they see at the time when I bought the bridge and finished, relationship was in high level satisfaction. Even to show this first bridge in Soviet Union was named, it's the name of Moscow, because Russian and Moscow was like brother and sister. If you look around, most families, if you look at percentage, I would say 30-40% mix up the families. Ukrainian married, the Russian married. That's never thought to be in such relationship today. This tragedy happened because people came who wants to be, first of all, Putin, he wants to restore former Soviet Union. He wants to grab it back. He start to say Ukrainian is used to be Russian, and Khrushchev, who was in charge, he just take from Russia and added to Ukraine because the country was one country. Nobody think about who is who.
So what do you think's going to happen?
Okay. What can happen? I was thinking about go from another side to see. Ironically, Russian people just fight German and won the job. And won the job. Ironically, they just do it the same with German. But if you look in between these stages, whatever Putin did today, someone did it quietly in another place. And United States and Europe just close eyes on this development. And this brought us to this condition. And the main goal, Putin, to restore whatever done. And first of all, Ukraine is the first goal to do it. After he will go more and more. And Ukraine was very rich with minerals, with everything. And because United States and Europe every time just let him do what he wants because he threatened with atom bomb, whatever. It's that, and what I'm saying today, we have a red line. We have a red line, and we should recognize once and for all, if you will not destroy the Russian like they are at this position, Russia should disappear as a country, and small countries should have freedom and whatever they want to. Now is the time. If we will not do it, what I'm thinking, everything what is have Russia, it could extend on all Europe, all this country, and most important thing, what I afraid, United States will be strongly affected by this. That's what I am thinking. And if we just raise this question about anti-Semitism, whatever, today we have to unite it. We have to do it.
Yeah, so my next question then would my next question would be, what can we do to curtail anti-Semitism, racism, hatred, and discrimination? What can we do? What could we do to curtail it?
Okay. If I will tell you, I have some material who support anti-Semitism in the United States. How do you like it?
Tell me about it. Tell me.
Okay. Okay, so I had a lot of problem to print my book. This is my original book, and I try to do it with connection with private companies. They look alike, everyone. Okay, we have contract, whatever. I signed the contract, whatever they said. They became not professional. Simple things, they could not do it. And I reject this project. And the company, I reject the project. And I have a manuscript in a Russian book too, which I just distribute. I just distribute to whatever who wants to. And this manuscript came to this company, and because they thought I done to them, they stolen this book, placed a lot of information wrong in position that after a while someone will try to see who I am, and I am a liar, and they want to destroy my reputation. This is the first things, and they issue the book, and the second, this book they just issue in a library, very famous library, and the book they presented like a stele in the cemetery, and no name, and they in red, I like you to be there. You see, and I just write a letter to library, remove this book, remove everything. They said, no, we will not do it. This is not our practice.
Which library was this?
I will see.
In the United States?
Of course, everything in the United States. This is one thing. But if I will tell you, probably let's see.
One thing I forgot to ask you, what was your second wife's name?
Bella,
And how long were you married?
35 years.
35 years. You did tell me that, yes.
Yeah, what I'm saying, I don't want to be to say more information until at least first things will be taken into consideration and recognize that I am right, and whatever I said, I have documents. This is my rules. Document. And for this reason, when we have a disagreement with contractor in bank support contractor, I fight the bank. I want the bank. Could you imagine how I did it? I am professional. You see, that's what all about.
How do you think all these things that you've been through, how do you think all these things that you've been through living in the Soviet Union, having been affected by anti-Semitism, coming to the United States, making a new life for yourself, everything that you've been through, how do you think it affected you as a person?
First of all, people, at least most of people, they could live all life and they don't know who are they, what ability, what they can reach in their life. It look like they live in Soviet Union. We adjust. The most important thing to be adjust, willing to adjust, know how to do it, to be strong. And whatever I receive in Russia, with all condition of anti-Semitism, I manage it and I reach a lot of things which I could say I'm proud of it. But at least after all, when I recognize I have different potential to do it, and that's give me United States because I came without money, without language, and look at what I done. I read 4 books, I made 200 movies. One of them I am just proud. I made one movie 10 years ago about children, and it was on YouTube, 2,200,000 people. Unfortunately, a Muslim country just stopped to show this movie.
So it's not on YouTube anymore.
Yes.
Is it still on YouTube?
Huh?
Is it still on YouTube?
Still, this movie like was 6 years ago, 220, and not.
What's the name of the movie?
Well, see, it's gymnastic. What I will show exactly.
What message would you like to leave for future generations living in the United States and living also under Soviet rule? What message would you like to leave?
What do you mean anti-Soviet Union?
Well, anybody living there or anybody living here, what would you like to leave a message?
No question about. We have freedom of choice, and I use it. Everything what I done in the United States, it's a freedom. Of course, this country change because some condition of politicians do not the right things.
Well, we won't get into that, but go ahead.
So for me, it's look like the best what I could expect, even comparable with I have very, very successful life there. I done more for people. I did it to live for future people, to record, to know what's going on and how people survive when we have fight with Russian whatever, and that's what history. And I believe that's what my goal, which helped me to be good in my mind, whatever.
So you're saying take advantage of the opportunities that
Yes.
address you.
Yes.
Is there anything else you'd like to add?
What I am saying, I would like to see if how to explain people in my book. I just want to say, read a little bit more careful and try to imagine what I am in real life did it and I did not know about it. Probably you have the same. Try it. That's what my book is.
We'll photograph your book so that the people. We'll photograph your book, the preface of the book, the front page. So if anybody wants to read it, they can find it. Okay.
Yeah, whatever. The big picture which I am young and nobody think I'm so.
Thank you very much for doing this interview.
Yes, and I'm very happy to have a chance to be public. That's what I always in public. I did it for other people, and this is one event which I just became a person which became some
Thank you very
attention.
much. Thank you.
Okay. Great mother and great father.
And their names?
The names only Esther I know as grandma, but I don't know the name of grandpa.
Last name?
Wexenfeld.
So it's your father's parents.
Yes, and that's what came from this picture, I believe.
Thank you. And this picture?
Grandparents and my old sister Genya.
And who's in the middle?
In the middle, my father, Lazar Wexenfeld, and left my mother, Chaya Wexenfeld, and Genya Wexenfeld, my old sister.
Thank you.
One.
And this picture?
This is old pictures of my old friend, and we started from 1946 to the end of school and enter to college, and used to be discussing about leaving United States. Some of them just left for Israel. I believe today they are not alive, all of them, except my picture, which I am right on top on the right.
Can you name any of the people in the picture?
Okay. Left is Mikhail. Second, Eddie. Anatoly. I forgot a little bit. In the middle, left, Lida, Faina. Left on the bottom, Ira. In the center, Zinovi and Lydia. And left to me is Boris.
Thank you.
2, 1.
And this picture?
The funny story with this picture, it used to be on the second year on some exercise, and we should learn how to present ourselves. And when it came my point, I just said, Polkovnik Emil Wexenfeld. Starting from this, I received a name in my Polkovnik Wexenfeld.
And what does the uniform represent?
This is just simple form. This simple form. This is temporary. This is temporary when we are on just special meeting, whatever, for 1 month, and we just learn whatever military should be.
Was it a military uniform?
Yes, this is a military form, because after graduating we have taken a lieutenant of position, lieutenant.
Thank you.
2, 1.
And this picture?
It look like not me, too young. So this is simple question before I graduated from college, and I didn't see this picture for a long time, but nice to see, just to see how I was at that time.
How old were you in that picture?
I believe I am here, let's say 22, 23.
Thank you. And this picture?
This is a grave to my parents, which you see the picture, and close to his sister of my father, and some relatives, and Beba, sister, and another relatives to my family.
Where was this picture taken?
This is taken in Kiev in a special cemetery.
Thank you.
3, 2, 1.
And this picture?
Left is Genia Wexenfeld, then Bella Wexenfeld, Emil Wexenfeld, and Bella Wexenfeld.
Two Bella Wexenfelds? Two or both of them are Bella?
Yes, this is my family. All of them are Wexenfeld, except yes, Bella Wexenfeld.
Which one is Bella?
Bella is left, second left.
And that was your wife.
It's that, yes, and she's my wife.
Thank you.
3, 2, 1.
And this picture?
The left, it's me. In the middle, Beba Wexenfeld and my cousin.
What's her name? Your cousin's name?
Just forgot.
Do you have a picture of Jenna?
Yes, we have a special.
I don't think you did.
3, 2, 1.
And this picture?
Left, my wife Jana, her father and mother, and Emil.
Thank you. When was that picture taken?
I believe it should taken in 1960.
Thank you.
2, 1.
And this picture?
Taken in 1960. Emil and Bella.
Emil and
Bella and Emil and Jana Hutoranska and Emil Wexenfeld.
thank you.
3, 2, 1.
And this picture?
This is Bella and me, just at some party.
And what year was that?
I believe it should be somewhere in 1986.
Thank you.
2, 1.
And this picture?
Bella Wexenfeld, it's about 2000.
Is there anything more you'd like to say about Bella?
We used to be in some trip on Pyatigorsk, in Ukraine. Sometimes when we visit about 15 years ago.
Thank you.
3, 2, 1.
This is my book in English. Book number 1 is picture is Moscow Bridge, fragment of the pictures.
Is that a picture of the bridge on the cover?
Yes.
Thank you. When did you write this book?
This book I done it's 2021.
Thank you.
2, 1.
And what is this document?
This is document before we left Russia. We just prepare all documents which expect we will need in the United States, and all information was given for all family, starting with my parents, sister, and brother, and notify with official, which on the right side.
Thank you. Tell me about this plaque.
This plaque, I believe, just awarded me for my long-term as a structural engineer, which I built the bridge, which is famous once, first in Soviet Union and the third in the world by the length of the bridge. And my name Wexenfeld, and P is a professional engineer, and SI is special inspector. This is only for the special construction like high-rise building. Even if you have PE, it's not enough to take the job. This is top professional achievement. This is special inspector, which is high professional recommendation for professional engineer for building special construction, high-rise building. But people which have a lot of person like hospital, school, whatever.
Thank you.
This is my main professional engineer state of Florida, which gave me a chance to inspect, design all type of buildings. This is my first license of professional engineer, which make me proud, and I received this license when I was 53, and I just remember when I joined the exam, everything was half of my years, and all surprised and asked, why do you need this one? And I said, this is my future life.
Thank you.